Hello there. Thank you so much for watching CNBC Africa. My name is Eugene Anangwe. Now, on this Rwandan Ministerial Special, we focus on the implementation of the Isaka-Kigali Standard Gauge Railway and how Rwanda plans to reduce poverty in the country. Rwandan Minister for Infrastructure Claver Gatete shared some insights into the Isaka-Kigali Standard Gauge Railway and more from the infrastructure in Rwanda.
The major takeaway here is that with our Tanzanian counterpart, Minister of Transport and Communication from Tanzania, together with our teams and their teams, have been working together for over the weekend. And now we've just concluded, and we are very hopeful because we are still ironing out some of the issues for the implementation of the railway from Isaka to Kigali. And here there have been significant progress. We have been working with the Africa Development Bank that is giving us the technical assistance in terms of how to structure the financing for this project, where it has concluded their work. And now we are very clear on the way forward in terms of how to structure the financing for this project, and also how we are going to do it. So we've been discussing the technical aspects of that on how it is going to operate. But at the same time, also having given our teams going to Tanzania for training so that by the time we start, at least we have sufficient capacity for us to be able to start. Other issues that are related to the operation of it are still under discussion, but we are glad that we are making very significant progress. We last met in October, and now we are meeting. I think this one has shown us that really the work that is left to be done is not as much as what we had previously. So we are very confident that this railway, which is very helpful in terms of reducing the cost of transport between the two countries, and also especially for Rwanda, coming from the port of Dar es Salaam up to here, will be far cheaper, which will enhance our trade, imports and exports, and definitely contribute to the economic development of our country. So we are very happy that we have reached this far. And the two countries, as you've seen in the discussions, they are highly committed to make sure that we realize this project as endorsed and directed by our heads of state, both Tanzania and Rwanda, to make sure that this railway is implemented as they're directed by their heads of states.
Minister, allow me to ask you one more question. You said you are confident and hopeful, but we did see that the initial targets of having this project started by the end of this year were not met. So where are you basing your hope? Yeah, because there is technical work sometimes knows no boundaries. The technical work has to be done and completed first before the heads of state lay the foundation stone. And to do that, that's why we had to bring in other experts, including the Africa Development Bank, especially helping us in the whole process. So we are confident that now previous studies had been done in terms of the technical, but the financial aspect is also equally important. And that's why I had to bring in a partner to make sure they can help us as an arranger, to make sure that they can help us in terms of how to structure the proper financing. So that's why we are saying we are happy. We could not start until we have finished the initial elements that are helping us in terms of allowing our heads of state to lay the foundation stone. But we are very hopeful that this is going to be done, and done soon.
Now, Rwanda's poverty rates reduced to 38.2% in 2017 from 39.1% in 2014, while extreme poverty reduced marginally from 16.3% to 16%, according to the latest Integrated Household Living Conditions Survey. Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, explains why there has not been significant progress.
It is an important study that is conducted every 3 years to assess the living conditions of the population. This particular survey was conducted from October 2016 to October 2017, and it coincided with a specific period where we had a serious drought in most part of the country that has affected agriculture production, has caused high inflation, and of course has impacted on the level of consumption. So for that reason, the poverty reduction as revealed by the study is not significant. It's about 1.9% compared to previous survey that was conducted in 2013-2014. But all other socioeconomic indicators have improved significantly, like access to water, electricity, sanitation, to technology, ICT, mobile phones, savings, financial services. But due to that impact on agriculture is a major sector of the economy, and this has affected the food prices and the food shortages. The level of poverty did not reduce significantly as expected.
All right, so like you said, the poverty reduction has just not been so significant if you look at the numbers. And not only that, but also jobs created, businesses. Statistics are not quite significant. So don't you think the country is not moving fast enough? What should be done to actually see that you move faster than you are now?
No, actually the other indicators improved very well. Like businesses, 24% was increase in new businesses created. Jobs as well have increased. But you know our population is mostly rural. So whatever affects the agriculture sector affects the majority of the population, and it has an impact on living conditions.
So if you look at the country's target, such as creation of 1.5 million jobs by 2024 under the National Strategy for Transformation. So do you think Rwanda, the country, is being realistic? Don't you think you are setting targets that are too high to achieve?
No, these are achievable targets because this requires only around 214,000 jobs per year. And in our new definition of jobs, as opposed to the previous strategy, it is not only off-farm jobs. It is all income-generating activity. So it includes also agriculture that is commercial, that generates revenues.
So this survey aims primarily to guide policy, inform decision-making. So from what has been presented, where do you find the most critical gaps that need the most attention?
Oh, the study has revealed a lot of information that will help in reshaping our strategy and the programs. It shows the map of poverty. You can see which district is more affected. So then special attention will be given to that area. We have seen that the major cause of slow reduction in poverty is external shocks. Normally you have two shocks. The external shock related to international markets. We have also shocks related to climate change. This particular shock was about climate. So we need to do more in building our resilience to climate change. And we are doing already, especially by investing more in irrigation systems, both marshland and the hillside. And we have target to reach by 2024 to double the current total area that is irrigated. But also we do other activity related to environment, like planting trees, like preventing soil erosion. So these are all activities that contribute to mitigating negative effects of climate change. After the genocide in 1994, our GDP per capita was $146. Currently we are $774. Still low, but you can see the change. It's almost 7 times. Since last year, our exports have been growing and now are more diversified. It's no longer coffee and tea, but you see a variety range of minerals, you see processed goods increasing, you see our cross-border trade increasing. So these are good signals. In 2017 alone, our export grew by 44.5%. at a time where we are really struggling to reduce our trade balance. 2017, our trade balance was reduced by 33% in 1 year.
Less than 2 months after the historic summit in Kigali, which signed the Continental Free Trade Area. We are very optimistic, and this conference will provide an opportunity for our ministers of finance, planning, and economic development. These are ministers who are not, in many respects, party to the negotiation on the trade agenda.
We have to remember that at the end of the day, we want to see jobs, we want to see incomes rise, we want to see businesses grow, we want to see fiscal spaces that are sustainable, and so we need to have a baseline whereby we can be able to say that, yes, in 2018, this was the baseline before we started implementing the CFTA.
We need to hold ourselves accountable to ourselves, that we have to incrementally build on this. And what we agree on collectively at the continental level, we want to see it happening at the country level.
When we decided to have the conversation around the Continental Free Trade Area, we were not exactly convinced that that was going to be what would be the most exciting. But I think we see finance ministers very engaged. Right. And this is the right way to go. I think that finance ministers, of course, are the ones who are the masters of the borders, they're the masters of the customs, they're the masters of the taxes. And so having finance ministers, I think, particularly engaged, behind the CFTA and dedicated to making it happen is an important element.
For North Africa, there is a strategic vision and strategic view to be more integrated with the rest of Africa, basically, and create more exchange and more trade with the rest of Africa.